There's a distinct difference between you and him. He has been polite, reasonable, and has been willing to listen.
I've been polite with you.
You seem like you're starting to escalate this just a little bit for no good reason.
Then maybe we can display it somewhere so that he can see it and feel good about himself. But I don't, other than that, I'm not sure.
And feel good about himself.
You walk up here with a mask and the camera.
Yeah, that's what a journalist does.
Okay, no.
Oh, do I have to behave like the ones from Cairo, Como, and King? Do I need to do that to prove to you I'm a phone number? So quick question. Since it is locked here and I notice there's 8 pages, how do I inspect the entire procedure manual? How would somebody, I should say? Hey everyone, I am free. It is November 24th, 2025, and I'm going to the Port of Tacoma here in Tacoma, Washington, after having received tips and leads that they are very out of compliance with the Public Records Act. Apparently, they will not accept public records requests in person and orally, in addition to refusing to provide a procedures manual and public records index at their central office in accordance with state law, and this is from tips and leads I received about a month and a half ago. Furthermore, there are suggestions from my sources that there is either a police officer or a port security officer that stands in for the public records officer or their designee to do the actual public records job for the public records officer. And allegedly, this individual is exceptionally rude. So we'll see if there's any merit to that allegation as well. Well, looks like the tips and leads are already confirmed for the fact that you can't gain access to the published procedures manual. That's part of the deal here. You have to be able to get in here and look at and examine the procedures manual. Can't inspect the index, can't inspect the procedures manual.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Good.
You need assistance with something?
Yeah. Need assistance to inspect the procedures manual for the port.
Okay. Did you try calling that number right there and try to get in touch with anybody?
No, because the Records Act in Section 80, subsection 2 says you don't have to identify to make a public records request or to examine records, and making a phone call identifies you.
Oh, okay.
So I'd prefer to just not identify since the statute doesn't call for it.
Yeah, because the building's locked to the public right now. I don't know. There's not a receptionist available or whatever. Yeah. So that'd be your best bet.
Gotcha. So I just want to make sure I understand, because I don't want to put words in your guys' mouth.
Okay.
The public records officer is not available during open hours, as the statute says they are. When the public wants to make a records request in person or inspect an agency's mandatory disclosure materials, including the procedures manual under RCW 42.56.040 and the Public Records Index, or any claimed exemption under RCW 42.56.070 sub 3 and 4, the law requires agencies to clearly tell people where to go and how to access those records. Under RCW 42.56.040, the public is entitled to walk into an agency during its normal business hours and inspect the procedures manual without needing to locate a special webpage or hunt for instructions. People have the right to simply show up. Yet when I went in person to witness how the port handles an in-person records request, the process broke down immediately. Instead of a straightforward walk-in inspection or submission process, it required substantial pushback and insistence on my legal right before anything moved forward, directly confirming what multiple sources told me, that they were told records must be handled online only, even though the port's own policy admits that state law requires in-person availability. The port's port's public records page lists one address and two within the policy for records, but it does not identify where records personnel actually receive walk-in requests or where in-person inspection is supposed to occur. The assumption is that both process in-person requests. While the linked FI09 Access to Public Records Policy and Procedure document does state that in-person submissions may be made at one Sitcom Plaza, the port provides no explanation of how it meets the requirement in RCW 42.56.090 that agencies make public records available for inspection for at least 30 hours per week during their customary office hours. The PRA does not permit an appointment-only system that restricts in-person inspection. The port is obligated to provide real-time availability during those hours, and nothing on the site or in the policy explains how they do this. The policy repeatedly refers to submitting PRA requests to the public records officer, but neither the policy nor the website identifies that officer by name as required by RCW 42.56.580. Instead, the only individuals publicly listed as Jessica Chavez, Record Specialist, and Lisa Billick, Records Program Manager, neither of whom is designated as the Public Records Officer. During my in-person visit, port employees did not initially offer access to anyone in records, nor did anyone come forward in that capacity. Port security personnel, who are port employees and therefore lawfully able to accept a PRA request, ultimately did take the request, but only after extensive insistence on the port's obligation to accept it in person. My sources, who are less familiar with the Public Records Act, told me they felt they had hit a wall and were turned away entirely. Even with the policy posted online, the Port of Tacoma continues to provide unclear guidance, inconsistent in-person access, and no publicly named public records officer, leaving the public without a reliable or legally compliant path to access records in all ways allowable by law.
Just want to make sure.
I don't know who's working right now.
That's actually the leads that led me down here as a journalist, is that the Port of Tacoma is egregiously violating the Public Records Act with intention, that they're intentionally breaking the law to avoid transparency and accountability. And the fact that this is not open, when Section 40 of the Public Records Act says the procedures manual shall be prominently displayed during open hours, I don't see it prominently displayed out here.
Okay.
So, do we have to like halo jump in and we just land on the roof and make our way in from there, or how do we do this for the public? What's the procedure here? Do you guys know?
Barring not using your phone to make a phone call to request to see if the officer, public records officer is here right now. I don't know how to help you.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's no way for me other than to identify, which the statute says I don't have to identify, but the Port of Tacoma is putting up a method to call to identify yourself, and by doing so, then you might potentially gain access to view the procedures manual, which is supposed to be prominently displayed from
Yeah, I don't have the exact.
8:30 to 4:45, or 8 to 4:45. So, are you guys public employees?
Port of Tacoma.
So you're a public employee, or are you private security?
We're not private security. We work directly.
You work for the. Okay, so you're public employees. Okay. Well, then what I'd like to ask then is, since you are public employees, that you guys, one of you go in and maybe ask whoever's on shift, whoever's a manager, supervisor, or the public.
Have you tried calling?
What I was trying to explain to the officer Crosby over here is that.
What I'm asking is, have you tried calling?
No, because the Public Records Act specifically says you don't have to identify to make a public records request. So you guys going to refuse?
He's going to go check
Oh,
right
he
now.
is. Okay.
Yeah, they're not here right now. They work from home remotely. All the public records info that you would like is all on the website. And then if you would like to talk to them in person, you can call and schedule a meeting.
Well, let me do this. Since you guys are public employees, are you limited commission? Or are you full commission?
What are you getting at? Like what?
Well, I'm getting at the fact that you guys are.
I know. And then
That
you're put it on the Facebook or the YouTube. I understand all that.
You know,
What
there's a
I'm saying
distinct
is-
difference between you and him. He has been polite, reasonable, and has been willing to
I've
listen.
been polite with you.
You seem like you're starting to escalate just a little bit for no good reason.
You walk up here with a mask and the camera.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
a journalist does.
Okay, no.
Oh, do I have to behave like the ones from Cairo, Como, and King? Do I need to do that to prove to
There's
you
a
I'm
phone number
journalist?
you can call. You can talk to them tomorrow. They're not here right now.
Gotcha.
And then all the public record stuff that you want is all online. So that's the.
In all fairness to you, it was just Crosby and I here a second ago when
Yeah,
I was
I'll
telling
let
him
you guys
what was
talk.
going on. Well, no, if you let me finish, I'll explain to you what I was telling Crosby. I had some people reach out to me as a journalist saying, hey, I attempted to go down here in person, which the Public Records Act absolutely allows for it to be done in person, without appointment, to inspect the procedures manual and the Public Records Index. You also can go down to any local agency or state agency and inspect at the prominently displayed point, usually it's a bulletin board or something like that, who the public records officer is. Now, I absolutely agree. What Officer Crosby and I were talking about just a moment ago was that you absolutely can go online. Most people do it that way. But, as I'm sure you could probably consider, you get a lot of older folk that sometimes just like to go down to places and do it in person, right? It's not uncommon you get that. Maybe they need assistance with something, maybe they got a disability and they need assistance in that manner, or whatever it is. But I had some elderly folk reach out to me and say, hey, I attempted to go to the Port of Tacoma, I wanted to make a public records request, I wanted to inspect the procedures manual on how to do it, which has to be prominently displayed and made available during open hours. It doesn't matter if it's available or not. It has to be prominently displayed at the central office. This is the central office for the Port of Tacoma. So what is being proven here is that, not necessarily you two guys, it's not your job to be the records officer, but nonetheless, as public employees, I'm proving to you right now, happy to pull out the RCWs and show you. The Port of Tacoma is actively, and at this point, in notifying two public employees, I'm telling you right now, they're breaking the law criminally. They're concealing, which if you look in RCW 40.16.010, that's a Class C felony. You can't conceal a public record, and since it has to be available from 8 a.m. to 4:45 p.m., that's called concealing. That's how that works. And we got public employees here. There is the opportunity to get assistance inside from somebody here. But at this point, it seems like the Port of Tacoma is making an implied statement by actions that they're just not going to honor the Public Records Act, that they're going to intentionally break the law.
Okay, and what I'm saying is the person that you'd like to talk to about that is not us. That is the records manager or the records request person.
Or their
I think her
designee.
name is Lisa.
Or their designee.
Okay. Well, I don't know who that is either. I'd have to go ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. You're a public servant. You could assist me, right?
I am assisting you. There's a phone number right here.
So in
And then you
section
can call and
80,
talk to the records person, and then you can get all your questions
what
answered.
you're saying is a police officer.
Not a police officer.
You're not a police officer. What are you?
Security for the Port of Tacoma.
Okay, so you're security. So you're not a law enforcement officer.
No.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
You should know that, right?
No, I shouldn't necessarily know everything. The
Okay.
things that I study and I'm aware of because I've read. I mean, I get it. You might know things by osmosis. You might be the person that just pulls it all in. But the fact of the matter here is that with this location, and you guys as public employees working for this, you're being notified that this place is out of compliance. I don't have to wait for them to at least, if nothing else, inspect the procedures manual.
Yeah, and then I can notify and say, hey, Lisa, I think is her name. Hey, Lisa, this gentleman, what's your name?
Rather not give
I'm not going to identify myself. I'm going to wear my mask.
Yep.
I can let her know that some guy that with a mask on, now I can't identify, so I don't know who came, right? Some
Correct.
guy with 3 cameras
Yep.
and a mask.
Yep. All true.
Good-looking gentleman, showed up down here at the port, wanted to talk to you. Sounds like you're working from home. If he comes back, I told him he can call that phone number, and then he can talk to you. If you have this other than on the internet somewhere, then maybe we can display it somewhere so that he can see it and feel good about himself. But I don't, other than that, I'm not sure.
And feel good about himself. Are you?
Well, feel good about like whatever the port is doing that you think
I'm
that they should be
I'm just
doing.
reporting on a story which at this point is 100% true. The merit is proven. The merit of the allegations exists right in this moment. This building is unlawfully locked. They have no lawful authority to prevent people from seeing that. Now, if they want to put the procedures manual, let's say like in a display board or something like that, to somehow it would be viewable by the public, they absolutely can do that too. But what I'm seeing here is A, they don't have that. B, I don't have to identify in accordance with section 80 of the Public Records Act. I mean,
Nobody's checking in.
this is about old folk, man. It's not about me. It's about elderly people. We should want to help elderly people. You know, and then I come down here and it's true. That's not okay.
You a copy also. Lisa knows that you're here, but I don't know how to identify you or get you in contact with her.
Oh, that's the procedures manual?
So if you
So quick question, since it is locked here and I notice there's 8 pages, how do I inspect the entire procedure manual? How would somebody, I should say? And is she getting a copy of the records index as well?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her.
Okay. Yeah, happy to wait.
You could call her. That would.
Like I said, the point that I'm getting at as a journalist is that, you know, again, members of the public don't have to identify. Calling would identify them, and it should just be something that they can, you know, get.
Got a thumbtacks?
All right, so this patrol officer here has gone inside and attained the procedures manual. He's tacking it up right now in there, as you can see. My hope is he's going to go inside and also get assistance from them to get the records indexed. So far, whoever those, because they were anonymous leads, whoever those people were that came down to attempt to gain access to the building to inspect these immediately publicly available records, looks like there's absolutely merit to those allegations. I cannot say why the port is being so violative of the Public Records Act. Their incalcitrance is on display. I mean, fortunately, this patrol officer has decided to go in and get the copy, and that's good that they printed it out. Is there a way to now also inspect the records index as well? That's the second document. It's supposed to be like basically ready.
The one that you probably saw on the internet?
What's that?
The one that you saw, I'm sure you already looked, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I did not see the records index on the internet.
Okay, and that's what it's called, records index?
Yeah, it's called a public records index, yeah. It's in section 70 of the Public Records Act.
Okay, but have you seen it on our website? Is what I'm asking.
I have not. Have not. Okay, as you can see here, that one officer is just really rude. What a stark contrast between the one that just went in now and the first one, Officer Crosby, which is this guy right here. Is that the exemption?
This is the records index that you asked for.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, the exemption. Okay, cool.
And what was the other sheet that was underneath it?
Yeah, this is actually, I did notice it was the last one. I didn't catch it until just a moment ago on that last page, third column, that one right there. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. So in this case, I'm going to submit a public records request to you then, and that is going to be for all responsive records regarding the records index exemption on page 8 of the policy and procedure number F, either 109 or I-09. For all calculus, that would be found in RCW 425670 subsection 4A clause 2. That verifies and corroborates that they have lawfully produced this records index exemption. And I'd like that please sent to anonymouscitizenwa@protonmail.com.
Do you have like a card or something?
I don't.
I don't have a pen on me. Do you have a pen? You want to get his info? I have a paper and you have a pen.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, if you want to just write it down on your notepad or something right there, I'm happy to do that. So,
What is it?
All responsive records.
What the email?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give that to you at the end when I'm done giving the records request. So the records request is for all responsive records. That evidence and corroborate the records index exemption, found in policy and procedure FI09. I think that's an I. What do you think, Crosby? Is that an I?
Where are you pointing at?
Just at the top where it says policy, I think it's FI.
FI09 looks like, yep.
Found on in policy and procedure FI09 on page 8. Can you read it back to me real quick? I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right one.
All responsive records that evidence and corroborate the records index exemption for forms say that one more time. Exemption forms on policy and procedure.
Number FI09.
Yes.
On page 8.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's so neat. And then my email address is anonymous, ANONYMOUS, citizen, WA, at protonmail, PROTONMAIL.com. So anonymous citizen WA at protonmail.com. All right, great. I do appreciate you guys getting this for me. So thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
Oh, you too, man.
All right, so those leads are confirmed. The Port of Tacoma is so unwilling to aid in the moment, with the exception of those patrol officers. Those patrol officers were willing to help here, but the Port of Tacoma appears to be going out of its way to abuse the Public Records Act. So those elderly people that showed up trying to get assistance, they're absolutely correct. This happened. So that's deeply unfortunate that is what happened with these elderly folk. But you know, it's not uncommon that you see these local agencies doing this. They are completely shut down to the public at this point, except for by appointment. They went so far as to cram the pages individually into that display, which, you know, hey, at least that's up now. A little hard to read, as you can see by the fact that it was kind of bent on the far right side, but it is up there. And on page 8 you can see they've exempted themselves. I'm gonna have to wait for this public records request to be fulfilled for the calculus for the records exemption, and I think I'm gonna have to come down and at least ask questions of the elected officials. You know, why is this place completely shut down during open business hours? You can't even go in and inspect the procedures manual, and while they are putting it up in that display, it's cold. You know what I mean? Geez, why can't they just open it up and let people come in and conduct normal business? This is Washington State at every level, again, pushing the citizens away from their employees. They want everything to be done online so they can either ignore you or choose what to ignore and what to respond to. That goes for voicemails as well as emails. So with that being said, that's it here today, reporting at the Port of Tacoma's administrative building in the Harbor District in Tacoma. If you like my journalism, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the all notifications bell so you can get my stories on the release. You can follow me on X at I.A.M Auditing, on Facebook at Inland Auditing Media, and if you want to help keep my feet on the streets, you guys know what to do. You can go to the links in the description for Cash App and Venmo. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys at the next location. Bye for now. So we've got one of those patrol officers after I left the area. He's probably going to be driving past here in a second. All done with the story. Still going to be following me around, I would guess, for quite some time. Didn't manage to look. So there he is right there.
Welcome back to the very end of the video where the nights get longer, the air gets sharper, and the truth stands out clearer against the silence. If you're hearing this, you're one of the very few who stick around to not just witness, but understand. In this quiet part of the video, we reflect, share what fuels us, and say a few things to help the algorithm help us reach someone new. December is when the world winds down, not this channel. So let's close the book on the year with keywords, philosophy, and the reasons we don't go silent, no matter how cold it gets. The December 2025 SEO keyword cluster. Reasonable articulatable suspicion. No RAS, no ID. Detained without suspicion. Unlawful detainment audit. Fourth Amendment audit. Terry stop exposed. ID refusal education, filming cops legally, First Amendment audit, sidewalk rights confrontation, FOIA request denied, corrupt public officials exposed, government employee misconduct, City Hall audit confrontation, mayor caught lying, retaliatory arrest for filming, police officer walks off job, refusal to provide badge number. Citizen journalist exposes cover-up, violation of open records law. You won't believe what this cop said. Tyrant cop gets owned, arrested for filming again. Cop tries to delete footage. Body cam reveals truth. Public official loses it on camera. Shut down by the Constitution. First Amendment violation caught on video. Audit goes viral. Caught on camera lying to the public. City Hall confrontation. Courthouse audit. Police station audit. School board exposure. DMV meltdown. Sheriff's office corruption. Public library filming rights. Fire department audit. Federal building standoff. Post office audit fails. Do you have to show ID? How to film police legally? What is reasonable suspicion? Public photography rights. How to file a complaint on law enforcement. When are detentions illegal? Passive resistance explained. Legal to film on government property. Civil rights training for cops. Know your rights when stopped. And now on to the December philosophical readings and reflections from David Thoreau. Civil disobedience. Disobedience is the true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. My reflection is that when you record from a sidewalk, ask tough questions and don't move just because they said to. That's not obstruction. It's resistance. And resistance is how liberty breathes. And from famous poet and Russian writer Alexander Solzhenitsyn, let the lie come into the world. Let it even triumph, but not through me. My reflection as it relates to my journalism is that's why I film. That's why I post. That's why I confront them when they say you cannot record. I will not be a part of that lie. From Cicero, from his text On Duties. Salus populi suprema lex esto. Translated, the good of the people is the greatest law. My reflection is that public servants often forget you serve the people, not the other way around. If the camera makes you uncomfortable, you're in the wrong job. And finally this month, from one of my favorites, James Madison in Federalist 51. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. My reflection on that is don't assume they'll do the right thing. Record it, test it, question it, build the controls. Now I've got some questions for all of you for December. A little pre-Christmas and holiday homework, if you will. Which government agency is the least transparent in your town? Has a cop ever demanded ID from you with no reason? And what did you do? Should government buildings be required to remain open for public audits during the holidays? What was the most shocking audit you saw this year? Do you trust your local government more or less 2025 and why? And finally, I just want to say to you all this December of 2025, I greatly appreciate you. I could not be doing this without your interest in my journalism and my push for transparency wherever I go in seeking my stories. I want to thank you all for that support. I want to wish you all and do wish you all the best in your 2025 holidays and the best going into a 2026 as we pursue greater transparency and expose corruption from tyranny and tyrants alike from here and into 26. Thank you very much. Happy holidays.